What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Alex Eubank here. Today we're going to be doing a little bit different of a video. This is going to be more of a informational, frequently asked questions type of thing. I was in my Discord live the other night. I'll join VC sometimes to talk to you guys. And I was just getting a bunch of questions from a lot of you guys asking questions on bulking, on cutting. What do I think about supplements? What do I think about basically, like, there's so many broad different types of topics. So I figured I might as well just make a YouTube video that I can send to all these people, or just a link to people when they ask for my opinion on, let's say, dirty bulking, or how can you diet more efficiently while you're going to school in college or high school. How many working sets should you be doing per muscle group? Basically, every single fitness question that I probably asked when I started my fitness journey, or what I tried to answer, what I wanted to learn, I'm going to try to just answer all in one video. Obviously, this is different from my other like vlogs and stuff, but I figure like this is kind of what I used to do on my YouTube channel. If you look back at my older videos, a lot more sitting in front of the camera doing informational stuff. Now, I'm not a registered dietitian, CPT in any aspect. This is purely off of my 6 years of training naturally in the gym, like what I have learned. Specifically about my body, what might work for my body might not work for another person's body. So keep that in mind when I'm giving this information out. Again, everything might not be 100% correct. I see people in fitness like think that people who don't have a CPT or haven't competed in bodybuilding don't have a valid opinion, but I feel like I've had enough experience. I mean, 6 years in the gym is a pretty good amount of time to where I feel like I can give my opinion. At least when you guys ask me what I did, I can kind of relay that back to you guys. So yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So I put down a few lists of common questions that I get. I'm just gonna go through and kind of answer them in as much detail as I can. I was gonna record just like a full day of eating, how to cut video, but I figured I could just put it all into one video, because I don't want to I want to hit all topics. I might as well just provide a lot of value in one video. So the first thing I was going to go over is how to cut properly. Far too many times I see a lot of people who want to just get shredded quick and fast. Either they're too young, which is a big issue, or they just want to get shredded fast, so they go in a big deficit really quick, or they'll only eat like my manager even did this before. Like, you only eat one meal a day. Because he thinks that by doing that and starving yourself, you're going to lose weight. And yeah, you will lose a lot of weight at first, but because you're only eating one meal a day, or if you're in a really big deficit all at once, your metabolism is going to crash, because our body is very adaptive, meaning like if you give your body only 1,000 calories a day, it's going to end up getting used to that 1,000 calories per day, to where you won't be able to lose weight eating 1,000 calories per day. Versus the same thing when you start bulking up. If you start eating 2,500 calories or whatever, and you're gaining a little bit of weight from it, over time, you're not going to be gaining more weight. You have to increase it up to 3,000 before you start gaining weight again, because your body is very adaptive. So the best thing to do when cutting is to start with a pretty small deficit, as well as if you're natural, it's really good to have a smaller deficit just to conserve muscle tissue. You don't want to lose and lose the tissue, because when you go into cut, you become catabolic, which means your body is taking away from stuff like your muscle tissue or your fat tissue. So in order to kind of conserve that muscle loss, you want to do a lower deficit. So for me personally, what I do when I go into a cut, I usually do around a 300 calorie deficit in terms of eating, and then I try to add in around 250 calories burned from cardio. So it puts me in around a 550 calorie deficit. So what you need to do when you're cutting is you need to find it's called your BMR, your basic metabolic rate, and you can use different calculators online to get an idea of what yours is, to kind of ballpark estimate of what you're probably burning per day, based on your activity level and how many times you're going to the gym. So I would say do one of them. So let's say you put in a calculator for your BMR, and let's say it says your BMR is around 2,500 calories burned per day. And that's just if you were to sit inside all day, do your regular routine, you would burn 2,500 calories. So in order to lose weight, you have to be in a caloric deficit. All right, so you got to go under that. So what I would do is I would probably eat 2,200 calories, and then I would add in around 25 minutes of low intensity, steady state cardio. I personally like to do it every single day, just because it's part of a routine. You don't have to do it every single day. Low intensity steady state is like your heart rates, you can maintain a conversation while doing the cardio. You're not going crazy balls to the wall. But I'll do like incline treadmill. I'll do like a 11-degree incline, 3 miles per hour, a little bit higher incline. Depends how my back is feeling. Stairmaster, any of those things are really good. And I used to do it fasted in the morning, but I've realized too, and after talking to some more like professionals, that as a natural, it's not smart. And I do notice you will become a lot more flatter throughout the day, and it's just not good and you'll lose more muscle that way, to be honest, as a natural lifter, even if you eat more protein. So I recommend not doing fasted cardio anymore. I'd recommend doing it after your workout, which is what I've been doing recently. Again, I used to do it every single morning just because it was easy to knock it out of the way, but I did notice I was getting really flat and I looked very skinny. Even though I was getting leaner from it, of course, it had definitely worked, but I'm doing it after my workouts now. So Therefore, you're doing the 2,200 calories, so you're in a 300 calorie deficit in terms of eating, and then you're adding in that 250 calories burned from cardio. So you're losing, your body's in a deficit, so therefore it's gonna have to take away from your fat, maybe a little bit of muscle, so you might lose a little bit of size, but that's just the name of the game when it comes to cutting. And if you, let's say your weight eventually your weight loss stagnates, or no, what I would say first is after you figure that out, you want to weigh yourself every single morning after you go to the bathroom. And this is just to kind of get an idea of how your weight is changing. You want to track it down in either a notebook or like the MyFitnessPal app. Track your weight every single morning while you're eating at that consistent calorie number while doing that cardio. If your weight is not going down, you either have to lower your calories by like 100 or you have to increase the cardio by like 5 minutes extra a day. If your weight is going down too fast, then you might want to add like another 100 calories or maybe lower a little bit of the cardio because you don't want to lose weight loss too quick. I would say I would max out weight loss per week to conserve muscle loss at probably a pound and a half per week. 2 pounds per week fat loss wise is a pretty aggressive cut. The less per week, the better in terms of keeping your muscle mass. So that's what I recommend. So I'd say like on average around a pound per week of loss is a pretty good pace to try to stick with. I'm pretty sure a pound of fat is 3,500 calories. So if you're in a 500 calorie deficit on average, it's about a week. So yeah, that's all I would say for literally cutting properly. And if you need tips for that, to feel more satiated, you got to find ways to increase your, fiber intake or find high volume, low calorie foods. There's a lot of different stuff on that. That'd be a whole separate video in its own. And I'm pretty sure I've posted videos on tips like that in the past. Once you start getting really deep into the cut and your body's getting very adapted to having a low amount of calories, and you're getting like really, really lean, you can look towards what I did before is like refeeds, which is kind of like a variation of carb cycling, just to kind of satisfy you and keep you on track for your goal. Because if like you're gonna have a day where you can cheat, like it keeps you more on track to want to eat in that deficit until that cheat meal. It's like a good mental thing. Although I don't think it helps too much on the metabolism like I used to believe. So yeah, there's a whole nother video for that, for like tips on how to be able to sustain a cut or sustain being in the low calorie, number. But yeah, that's just like the basics of it. Literally it's as simple as being in a caloric deficit. I'd say around 500 calorie deficits, you can lose around a pound per week. And tracking your weight every single morning, as well as tracking your macros. You got to track the foods that you eat because you won't be able to know how much you're eating unless you track the foods you eat. So get a scale, track it through the MyFitnessPal app. That's what I personally use. Makes it 10 times easier. Okay, and then along with that, we're going to talk about the opposite, which is how to bulk properly. So when I was in high school, I got really damn big. I was like 190 pounds. When I was 17, 18 years old, I bulked up pretty quick. I definitely was dirty bulking, which is going to also segue into my opinions on dirty bulking. So I think any diet that you can stick to is a good diet. So one diet is not going to be a good fit for every single person. So if you feel like you're a hard gainer and dirty bulking is the only way you're able to get into a surplus and gain weight, I don't think dirty bulking is like a bad idea. But you do not need to be in a stupid surplus, at least I believe, to gain size. But although when I was in high school, I was pushing the calories quite a bit and I was getting pretty big and pretty strong from it. And I think it's better to bulk while you're in high school, while your hormones are at all-time high. You're having your newbie gains. I think it's good to be in a surplus throughout that whole time period. I see a lot of kids who will send me DMs telling me to like ask if they should cut or how much they should cut when they're like 16, 17 years old and they're already decently lean. Like there's no point. That's the stupidest shit you could do, because this is the best time in your life to build a good foundation, which is what I did. That's why I don't bulk a lot now, because I feel like I already built a pretty solid foundation that I'm happy with, that I built throughout my high school years when I was in a big surplus for a long period of time. But yeah, as for the same thing though, I would say honestly, you can lean bulk or like main gaining, like I know Greg talks about, pretty properly by just being in like a 300 calorie surplus. And that's going to minimize fat gain, so you can stay as lean as possible while still being in a surplus where you're going to gain a little bit of size, gain some new muscle tissue, gain some strength. You don't need to be in a ridiculous surplus. I know a lot of my friends though, I've known like Zach Jennings, he like will go through these huge bulks where like, he's in a big ass surplus, and he does get kind of like, not like fat, but he gets kind of fluffy, but he gets stupid strong, and that's worked for him for gaining size. So like I said, dirty bulking or like being in a big surplus might be good for some people, although being in a maintenance or a little small surplus might be better for others. So it kind of all depends on your goal. Do you want to stay leaner while also gaining a little bit of size, or you just want to gain as much size and strength as possible, while being able to be on a diet that's maybe more maintainable because you're allowed to eat more, so it's a little bit more fun when you can eat more. So that's why I personally like dirty bulking, because I wasn't I didn't see myself eating in a 300 calorie surplus. I was like, that's like the same shit as dieting. I want to eat whatever I want. So when I was in high school, that's what I did. I was still getting big and gaining size. I was gaining some fat with it, but it was more fun for me because I could eat literally whatever I wanted to, whenever I wanted to. And to me, that was like, I was happy with that. So again, it's all different on your goals and what you want to, look like while you're in the process of building muscle. But yeah, I don't think dirty bulking is bad. I think it has its place in some events. But I wouldn't say it's for everybody. You don't have to dirty bulk to gain a lot of size. Another question I get a lot is how many times a week should you be hitting each muscle group? I'd say on average around 2 times. My favorite splits that I've ever done is push-pull leg. I used to do a lot. The Arnold split I used to do a lot. I used to mix the push-pull leg with the Arnold split. So day 1, I would do push, then I would do pull, then I would do legs, then I would do chest and back, then I would do shoulder and arms, then I would do legs, and then I would repeat it. And then as for rest days, I only ever took rest days when I feel that I personally needed it. I never really planned my rest days because I'd be tight. If I planned a rest day, let's say on Monday, and then Tuesday I fucked up something in my back and I wasn't able to really train to my 100% the next day, I would have to still go to the gym and train versus if I, held my rest day, I could have taken the rest day when I actually needed it. So for me, I like to, or if you get sick, you never know. Like people always say like, oh, you should plan your deloads. I don't really do deloads at all because like, what if I do a deload the next week I get sick? That's like 2 weeks away from the gym. So for me, I feel like these deloads naturally come. Or maybe you're on vacation, you can use that as like a deload. So I don't like to plan things. Again, like I don't take the fitness stuff super try hard. I'm not a bodybuilder. I like to, find a way to have a good balance with having a good life and then also having a good, aesthetic and a good physique. So having a balance between that for me is not planning my life literally around the gym 24/7. So for me, I take one when I feel I need one. If I know I'm going to be really busy one day and I got a lot of shit to do, I'll take a day off. You know what I mean? I'm not going to plan it like every Saturday I don't go to the gym. You know what I mean? I personally never did that. But on average, I would say, I feel personally like my body, what I've learned is around 4 to 5 days of training really, really hard. I feel like I need a day off to kind of, reset a little bit. So that's for me. I hit each muscle group twice per week, I would say is the best. Right now I'm on a 4-day split. I'm doing chest with shoulders, and then I'll do back with a little bit of biceps and a little bit of shoulders, and then I'll do legs, and then I'll do arms, and then I'll repeat it. So yeah. How many working sets per muscle group? The whole idea of intensity versus volume. Now, when I first started lifting and I was in high school, I was huge on volume. I was doing like 25 working sets per body part. And I was doing the bro split. I would hit back just for one day. The next day I would just hit chest. And yeah, I was getting big. I was growing from it. But I do not think that is the best way to go. If I could go back in time, I probably would switch to a push-pull leg split or something to where I'm hitting each muscle group more frequently and a little bit more intense. So there's an issue with like intensity and volume is kind of like on a balance. If you actually are having intense ass workouts, you're not going to be able to have a lot of volume. Your body just won't be able to handle it. And if you don't think that's true, then you're not really training as hard as you think you are. Same thing for volume. If you're able to do a shit ton of volume, you're not training hard enough. If you're doing 25, 30 working sets for a body part, you're simply, there's no way you're training hard enough because your body should not be able to do that much volume. It just doesn't make sense. And I remember I used to watch like Jeff Nipper, and he showed like a graph on like, I think it was 16 working sets or something was like the peak. And then if you do more, your hypertrophy levels, like what you get per set goes down. So it's actually like catabolic and counterproductive if you do too much volume, because your body's not able to reach that same amount of recovery. So like the whole idea of building muscles, you tear down your muscle fibers, and then if you're anabolic enough, your muscles recover bigger, and that's how you get bigger. Versus if you're catabolic, it gets less. So like you're literally tearing down your muscle tissue, and if you do it too much to where at a pace where your body can't keep up with it, you're going to be in a catabolic phase, not an anabolic phase where you're getting bigger. So you got to find a good balance with it. Personally, for me, what I've figured out now after 6 years of training is I like more intense workouts. I like to go to failure more often. Past failure, doing drop sets, having forced reps, half reps, holding a contraction, like stuff like that to me. First, it's more fun way to train, I think. Like Dorian Yates, blood and guts, that shit's more fun. But it's definitely harder a little bit on your body. But I say that I feel like I get more from my workouts when I train very, very intense to failure rather than doing like 4 sets of 12, stopping on the 12th rep, and I feel like I had 2 more in the tank. I don't like that style of training anymore. I definitely used to do a lot of higher volume stuff, a lot of more time under tension. But recently, I definitely like the idea of lifting a little bit heavier, and which is different. Like this is what I'm saying. Like I changed my philosophy on this a lot. I used to be like the whole like pump training stuff, training for aesthetics. There is a time and place for that, I feel like later in the workout, but I like to train heavy and intense now, and I feel like my body is responding a little bit better to that. And then later in the workout, I'll kind of do more of the hypertrophy, or still hypertrophy, but I'll do more of the time under tension, slow contractions in the pause reps, which I still feel like is amazing. Like time under tension stuff is really good. You do not have to be super strong to build a good physique. I believe in that. You don't have to be strong to have a good physique at all. But yeah, so that's just working sets per muscle. I'm going to say if you're training pretty damn hard to failure, I'll pick usually, let's say if I'm going to train like my chest and shoulder day, if I'm going to go train that, I'll do maybe 3 exercises, maybe 2 for chest, and I'll do 3 for shoulders because I want my shoulders to get bigger. And for chest, I'm only doing 3 sets for probably each of those exercises. And then I'll maybe finish off with like dips, like a burnout. And those sets are to like ultimate failure. Like I'm pushing myself to failure, past failure, maybe even adding a superset in it, just like a very long set where my muscles under tension, to where I would get more out of those 3 working sets because I'm going so hard than a normal person would doing 6 sets, stopping a rep or 2 shy of failure. So it's like a good, again, like I said, it's like a scale. And I feel like, again, this is up to preference. Maybe some people can train with more volume and get results, or more intensity and get more results, and less volume. But for me, yeah, I'll probably per week, I'd say like, I don't know, maybe 15 working sets per muscle group is probably what I do right now. For legs, I'm doing a lot more. For my lagging muscle parts, I probably try to get a little bit upwards of like 12 to 18 probably. But yeah, you don't need to be doing a stupid amount of volume, or else like I feel like it's counterproductive. Honestly, you're wasting. You could be doing something else in the gym. Are supplements necessary for muscle growth? No, not at all. Yeah, I'm sponsored by a supplement company, but I'm not going to tell you that you need to take protein powder. You need to take creatine. You literally do not need to take shit. All you need to do is just eat whole good food, and like you can build a perfectly fine physique off of that. I don't think I would look honestly any different, maybe the slightest bit, if I never took supplements in my life. But like I feel like there's a big issue what people focus on supplement wise. Like if you really want to take supplements, make sure your like your vitamin D, like your D levels, and your like go get your blood checked. If you're like in a D3 deficiency, go get some vitamin D instead of going to get pre-workout. Like make sure your vitamins and everything is good first before you even think about buying actual supplements like pre-workout protein powder. So like a lot of people like look over like you should be taking like your fish oil, like a multivitamin, your D3, something to help your heart, help your skin. Like that's the stuff that you really should focus on first before you like start delegating money towards like pre and protein and shit like that. So even though like obviously like I said, like I do make money off my commissions with my supplement sponsors, but I'm not gonna like lie and say like you need supplements, because you don't. If you do want to maybe enhance your workouts, or honestly to me it's like having more fun with it, then I could say yeah. And if you have extra money to spend, go ahead and try some supplements. For me, I don't recommend taking a stimulant pre if you are not already taking a stimulant pre. If you are not a big caffeine guy already, do not become a caffeine guy. It's like stay with stim-free pre-workout. I love stim-free stuff because I love getting a better pump in the gym, because personally for me, I feel like having a better pump allows me to have a better mind-muscle connection, which I feel like allows me to have a better workout because I can feel like I activate the muscle more. More blood flow to the area means I feel like I can feel it more, means I activate it more. So for me, I like stim-free stuff. Anything with a stimulant is going to be more of a I don't know the word for it. It constricts your blood vessels, makes them smaller, makes it harder for blood to flow, although it can give you more energy. So if you're already a crackhead on pre, yeah, you can get stimulant pre. And if you're not, I'd say stick with the stim-free stuff. As for protein powder, you do not need protein powder to get bigger, although it can help get your protein intake for the day. I would say no more than around probably a pound or a gram per pound of body weight. So I weigh 175 pounds right now, so I would want at least 175 grams of protein per day. When I'm cutting, I increase it a little bit, so I'm aiming for around 200 grams on a cut, just because I want to have more amino acids through my bloodstream. Also, I don't believe in the whole myth of having to have a protein shake after a workout if you're having intra-workout. So people overlook intra-workout a lot. This is the one supplement that I would say like is honestly like game-changing low-key. For me, at least, what I've realized is like intra-workout. So intra-workout basically is like a formula that has like essential amino acids in it. Some have like BCAAs in it. Some have like hydration formulas. But then also they have carbs. The carbs, like the super fast digesting carbs, bro, makes my workouts 10 times better in terms of like, and I just look fuller. Especially as a natty, when I'm cutting, I look flat as shit after my workout. I burn through all my glycogen, all my carbs, and I look flat. When I started taking like recently, like intra workout, I feel so much more fuller throughout the whole workout, and I can feel the contractions in my muscle fibers so much more because of the carbs. Because like you got to think about it, like when you're working out, if you have essential amino acids and carbs in your bloodstream, so you're having like that glucose or the insulin spike, which is like pretty much like an anabolic response, and you have the essentially amino acids, which is like an anabolic response, all going to where the blood's going, which is to your muscles in a workout. It's just like, it's super anabolic, and it feels super good. You get really good pumps from it. So the one thing I would say like to invest in probably if you're going to get something is like intro workout. Intro workout's sick. Allows your workouts to be a little bit longer so you don't get as fatigued. And because you already have those essential aminos flowing through your blood, you don't really need a post-workout shake technically, like right away. I don't do the whole anabolic window shit anymore. I used to in high school, but now I don't. So that's my stance on that. You do not need supplements. I would say in terms of importance for me right now, what I personally am doing, I would say the intro workout is this is just like workout supplements. This is not like the D3 and all that other stuff. I would say intro workout I'm loving right now. Stem free pre number 2. Then I would say probably a creatine formula, Alpha Lion has a post. It's called Superhuman Post. It's a creatine formula. It tastes pretty good too. Fourth, I would say probably protein powder. And then that's like top 4. You know what other things I can say. Alpha Lion's got some pretty good stim-free shit. Obviously, again, you don't have to get them. If you want to support me though, code Alex is 15% off on Alpha Lion products. They have really good intra workout. I don't think they have intra carbs though. They have really good stim-free pre-workout formula. It's pretty damn good and it tastes really good. So I like to take that. And a good creatine formula or post-workout. Another thing, last thing I think I'm going to talk about is going to be, because this video is getting long, I'm talking about a lot of shit. I'm getting cotton mouth from talking. Programming. So I never was really big on programming when I first started lifting. I kind of just went to the gym and like just did whatever I thought I had to do when it felt good. And a lot of the time was just every single exercise I did. Like I trained so much volume back then. But for me now, I think it's very important to have a good balance with programming, being able to track if you're actually getting stronger in the gym, which is something I lacked on a lot because I was just lazy. But recommending me as an influencer to you guys, I recommend programming and I recommend tracking your weights, tracking the lifts, and seeing how good you're doing. And then maybe even investing in a coach. So I personally don't have a coach right now, but I don't think it's a bad idea to ever invest in one that can keep you accountable or give you good programming and stuff. Yeah, with that, I thought I'd do something cool and just give you guys a free few days out of my workout, out of my programs on my app. So I've been doing programs or whatever, just writing programs since I kind of started doing content. This is like how I started making a living, which is like selling programs on my site when I had like no followers. So yeah, I have a workout app that has like multiple workout programs and I think it has a meal plan on there as well. And we're doing a workout challenge here soon, but like this is just an idea of like what I would do in a workout, I guess. So I'll give you guys, I'll just pop up screenshots honestly, and you guys can use this if you want. It's just week 7 of I think this is the cutting program, the summer shed program. Yeah. So if you guys want to go check this out, this is the first week for free, I guess. And if you guys want to be a part of the app, we're doing a big challenge here soon. And I think it's on the 15th, we're going to start it. And we're going to be giving away some stuff for the winners. And I'm also going to pick a few winners to become Elysium athletes. So this is my brand, if you guys don't know. So, just to create a little bit more value into it. And if you guys want to be part of it, it's like I'd say it's like a Discord / like workout app. You can just get programs from it. Again, I'm not a registered person. You do not need to cop any of this shit. You can find plenty of free information online. So you do not have to do this like whatsoever. It's just to support me and also to get value while doing it. All right, well, that's it for the video. I got to go edit this and get it out to you guys today. I hope you guys enjoyed this style of video. Obviously, it's a little bit different. I'm just talking in front of a camera, but I'm literally trying to spit all the advice that I can think of in terms of like because I have a very young following. So these are like all the questions that I get asked from you guys. So I'll just point you to this video. I'll have timestamps and shit, so you guys can just go to whatever part of the video. Maybe if you had a question that you wanted to get answered in this. I hope I answered your question. If it didn't, if I didn't answer your question, you have a common fitness question, comment down below in the description or in the comment section down below, and I'll go try and answer it. And I'll try to answer as many as I can later on today or tomorrow. But if you guys did enjoy this type of more informational style video, please let me know, because these are definitely fun to do. They're more easier videos for me to do too. So I do enjoy. I hope I can bring these back to the channel, maybe like once per week or once every 2 weeks. But yeah, again, like I said, I'm not a CPT, not a registered dietitian. You don't have to take any of this information. You don't have to get any of the programs. You don't got to do none of that. Okay, I'm just saying if you want to and if you want to support me while doing it, that is the way to go about it. And this is what I've learned over the last 6 years of me lifting in the gym. And I haven't competed. I maybe want to compete maybe next year and see how well I do. But my main goal with lifting is to have an aesthetic and healthy physique, and that's what I try to do. I don't plan on being the biggest and the baddest guy or the strongest guy. I just want to look good and have fun doing it. So that's it for the video. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Code Alex on Alpha Lion, Flex Pro meals for some meal prep. I was going to do a full day eating video today. I think we'll do that for Wednesday's video. If you guys want to go check that out on Wednesday, Code Alex on Flex Pro meals. They've been keeping me dialed in with my meal prep lately. The peanut butter snack thingies are so gas. They have these cheesecake bites and these peanut butter cookies. So gas. If you're going to buy anything from them, I would buy those. They're going to ship right to your door, I'm pretty sure, the next day. So Code Alex for that down below in the description. And Alpha Lion has a new flavor dropping on August 3rd. Pull up to the Twitch, Alex_Eubank. Follow me on Twitch. We're going crazy on Twitch right now. We're going every single night. That's it for all the promo. I love you guys. Until next time. Peace out.